Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Tuesday, 27th August 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. New Haitian Prime Minister Garry Conille speaks exclusively to Local 10 News Miami. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. After arriving in Haiti's National Palace last week, Local 10 News witnessed a significant change in the Caribbean nation. Calvin Hughes of WPLG Local 10 Miami reports.
When we arrived on the grounds of Haiti's National Palace, we saw evidence from back in March when armed gangs had attacked, but failed to take over one of the country's most iconic symbols. We witnessed dozens of members of its new army assembling, the first time in decades. They are part of a larger mission of the new Prime Minister to destroy gangs that Garry Conille says control more than 80% of the capital city.
How do you plan to dismantle them?
Well, we're doing a few things. The first thing is we're making sure that we're using our assets more effectively. This means reinforcing our police, and as you saw today, we're reinforcing our army so that it's more effective. We've created a unit that coordinates different sectors that are involved in security.
Why not go in and go nuclear against them and destroy them and wipe them out and start anew?
We can't become gangs to deal with gangs. We can't forget due process. We can't forget justice. And that the way we end this is as important as ending it itself. Repressive force is certainly going to be and is already part of what we do, but we have to factor in that anywhere between 30 or 40% of these gang members may be children as young as 12. We have to understand that they're well integrated in communities and they use these communities as shields. We have to factor in the fact that they're extremely well armed and well equipped. We have to understand that because of the limited police force we have to use them in a way that's as effective as possible.
Conille says police are relying on neighbors for intelligence about gangs. And some residents are, for now, holding the line. So the neighbors are protecting neighbors, you're telling me. But the gangs have been relying on children.
40% of some of the gangs were supplemented by children?
The numbers we have right now are anywhere between 30 and 40% of gang members may be minors or children. The root cause of a lot of this violence, besides being partly political, is also poverty and the complete inexistence of any kind of other options. Gang members pay weekly. I am convinced that given the proper environment, these children will choose the right path.
There are those who are saying you're not making progress fast enough. What do you say to your critics?
Their impatience is legitimate. It's been years of suffering, 160,000+ people living, displaced populations, a lot of them living under very difficult circumstances, half the population food insecure, people not knowing how their day is going to end, sleeping in fear, women raped, gang raped, rape used as violence, the incapacity to go south and north. The impatience of people is quite legitimate. But the reality is, and I've told the Haitian people that, dealing with a situation where 85% of our metropolitan area is controlled by gangs will require time and effort. But I guarantee you we'll get there.
You have no doubt you'll secure the country and you'll have elections.
I have no doubt that if we continue to build the commitment of the Haitian people, and if our partners, and this is important, deliver on their promises and commitments, this is a problem that we will be able to solve.
He has no doubt he has 12 million people depending on him making it
right for them.
And that's there in Haiti, but here in South Florida, the Haitian community is watching. What is his message to them?
He did have a direct message for them. In fact, and I do want to get this correctly here, he says Haiti's diaspora has been the backbone of their survival. He says 4 things have to happen for the mission to be successful. One is that all of the Haitian Americans here need to keep the pressure on the U.S. Congress and to keep Haiti in the headlines. He also made 2 other points. Take a listen.
We need them to come back, invest, use their talent, knowledge to help our economy grow. The third thing is we would like them to become a political force. This is why right now, as we rethink about amendments to the Constitution, making sure that Haitians in the diaspora are able to vote and participate in electoral functions is going to be critical.
And the 4th thing is critical, too, is that Haitian Americans here, New York, New Jersey, no matter where they are, Canada, France, they need to unify in order for all of this to happen. And one final note here, the U.S. government is financing this mission here, $300 million to putting behind this. And depending on who wins the White House, the money for the mission will either dry up, be cut off, or the mission will continue. So basically, Haiti and the Prime Minister are in a race against time.
And I'm looking at you to check back in with him a year from now to see how it's going in progress. Thanks.
Government is moving ahead with construction of new Pantrinbago headquarters in Port Spain. CNC3's Jesse Ramdio tells us more.
Wedged between the Hyatt Regency Hotel and the Fire Service headquarters rests the abandoned Service and Mapping Division building. Now, a condemned site along Ryson Road in Port of Spain is to be given new life.
The government and Pantrinbago have agreed to a design for a headquarters building worthy of its location in the city of Port of Spain on Ryson Road on the old post office site.
Earlier this year, government announced that the Pan fraternity's headquarters would move from the east to the west, with the abandoned site earmarked for construction. During the orchestra finals at the GMPA complex on Saturday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said as thrusts continue to stitch the steel pan into the national fabric, Pantrinbago's quest for a permanent home needed to be achieved.
Pantrinbago stepped out haltingly to do that, and I dare say it got not only stuck in the mud, but it literally became a national eyesore.
Back in 2001, former Prime Minister Bastio Pandey handed over 11 acres of land in Tacarigua to the organization to construct the headquarters. However, claims of misappropriation of funds and mismanagement under the former executive resulted in little progress. Dr. Rowley reported that after negotiations with Pantrinbago, a cricket academy will now replace the location in the east while the steel pan takes its place in the capital city. Pantrinbago's president Beverly Ramsey Moore is resolute that history will not repeat itself in the construction of the multi-million-dollar headquarters.
The cabinet has agreed to construct a 6-story building where, of course, Pantrinbago will be the major owner of that building, and several businesses that we would have negotiated will be in that facility, because for us, additional revenue generation is very important.
Ramsey Moore said with approvals already granted for construction, she expected works to begin soon. Jesse Ramdio, CNC3 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Conille Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
With over 66% of homicides committed as a result of gang violence and reprisals in St. Kitts and Nevis, Minister of National Security Dr. Terence Drew, the Prime Minister of the Twin Island Federation, said the country has a serious gang problem in society, a situation which he said is reflected throughout the region. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
According to Prime Minister Drew, the gang problem has gotten worse because of the, quote, the introduction of money into the equation, end quote, blaming what he described as the ill-advised peace program. Dr. Drew said gangs use the money to purchase influence and guns, saying that sophisticated arms are being used to carry out heinous crimes, prompting changes in law enforcement approaches to gun violence. Following the recent spate of homicides, including the shooting of a businesswoman, Prime Minister Drew addressed the nation on 24 July 2024, referring to decisions of the National Security Council.
Focus in our National Security Council meeting earlier today was suppression. Suppression in preventing the inception of crime or preventing expansion of criminal activity. Let it be known, the National Security Council has agreed to a drastic change in suppression activities. I am warning everyone from today onwards, there will be constant vehicular checks and searches. There will be constant searches of those homes of the persons involved in criminal activities. Illegal tents and cars will be removed. We will be relentless in our suppression of criminal activities. These are the measures that are necessary to not only locate the persons involved in destructive criminal activities, but remove their firearms and weapons off the streets. I therefore appeal to the general public for your patience, understanding, and cooperation as we do what is necessary to arrest this scourge of gangsterism and violent crime. Those involved in criminal activities can no longer feel comfortable in their homes, in their gathering spots, nor moving around in the Federation. I therefore implore all persons involved in gangs and criminal activity to change their lives and change now. If not, we will find you, we will prosecute you, we will jail you. Not only will the police force and army be on our streets, but the Joint Security Operational Tactical Team will be strategically patrolling hotspots.
Prime Minister Drew extended condolences to the families of the victims of gun violence, saying the administration will do everything it can do to bring justice to the families. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Showcasing the religious, ethnic and cultural diversity of St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean community, the Federation, in a service of thanksgiving, marked its 50th anniversary of membership in the regional organization CARICOM. Glenn Bart again filed this report.
Among the dignitaries at the occasion were Dame Marcella Liburd, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Carla Barnett, Secretary General of the CARICOM Secretariat, and the keynote speaker at the event, members of the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis, members of the Diplomatic Corps, as well as representatives of faith-based organizations and churches. Dr. Barnett, in her address, commended the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and the guidance under its political leadership to the growth and development of the community.
St. Kitts and Nevis was one of the 8th Caribbean nations accepted into the Caribbean community in May of 1974, less than a year after regional integration was consolidated under the 1973 Treaty of Chaguaramas. St. Kitts and Nevis has therefore been integral to the solid foundation and the wide-ranging achievements which we highlighted during the past year as we celebrated CARICOM's 50th anniversary. Some of these achievements are often overlooked or taken for granted as they have become interwoven into the fabric of our region. This includes the existence of high-functioning, highly regarded regional bodies which manage our preparedness, responses, and delivery in such areas as natural disasters, public health, education, renewable energy, and jurisprudence. Ladies and gentlemen, as you reflect on your 50-year membership of the Caribbean community, you can be